Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button so you don't miss any of my videos. This is a Celebrity Crime and Hot Topics channel. Thanks for watching. Special shout out to all my members. Thanks for being a part of the exclusive foodie community. You're getting early access to content and exclusive content. Check out the link in the description box to join. The document, y'all. It's not that long, so I will read through it. As a lot of us know already, there was an order denying defendant's motion to suppress the evidence for Ernesto Williams, all the evidence that was obtained during the vehicle search. It's been a long time coming, and the date is marked September 4th, 2025. So has it been denied since then and it just became public? I don't know. Nesto, in every way imaginable, in every stretch of the word, fraudulent, did not have any rights to that Ford F-350 where he traveled with all of that dirt, all of that evidence, because one, it wasn't in his name. Two, it was illegally applied for and obtained, and the application was a fraud. The marriage was a fraud, and he's a fraud. Okay. And also, from what I'm hearing around and about Lady T-Bug's channel, he asked them to go in his truck and get his blood pressure medicine, his phone. So, you should always have that stuff on you in case of an emergency / arrest. If you wouldn't have asked them to go in your truck and get your stuff, they would have never found anything that said, this looks a little suspicious. This looks a little, considering they already had the warrants out on him. So that was, yet another reason why there would have been suspicion enough to search his vehicle. Well, not his vehicle, but Shirley's vehicle. Heck, the truck don't belong to nobody at this point because Shirley's still making a note on the doggone thing. Ooh, I'm so sick of this oil rig. As Lady T-Bug says, I'm so sick of this oil rig. My God, this truck that they have paid for 5 times over because the note and the interest rate is sky high, higher than a giraffe's cooch. All right, let me read this document. I mean, it's such sweet victory for the prosecution, for the defense. For the district attorney, not defense, district attorney. All right, order denying defendants to motion to suppress. Here's another typo. The above referenced case came before the court on December 18th, 2024 and August 11th, 2025 for a hearing on defendant's motion to suppress vehicle search. As set forth below, the court, having considered the arguments raised in the motion, the state's motion in opposition thereto, defendant's supplemental brief, the state's motion to dismiss, defendant's motion to suppress, as Ernesto would say, the arguments by counsel at the hearing and the applicable law hereby denies the same. Factual and procedural background. In a 39-count indictment, defendant is charged with violation of the Georgia RICO Act, false swearing, theft, identity fraud, false documents, and other related charges allegedly arising from acts beginning in December 2009, probably before that, and continuing through June 2022, probably up until he got arrested. On September 30th, 2024, defendant moved to suppress a vehicle search and all evidence obtained from the search of a white Ford 350, thanks to Sonya, by the Roswell Police Department in violation of the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Georgia. Remember, he was saying, they're violating my rights. They're violating my rights. Remember, he kept saying that? He's being violated all the way around. All the way around. All right, specifically, defendant asserts that on or about July 7, 2022, Roswell police personnel observed him park and exit the white Ford F-350 at a parking lot located at 1070 Alpharetta Highway. Defendant states that he was arrested in said parking lot on pending arrest warrants while he was taking picture of a for-lease sign. After his arrest, law enforcement impounded and towed the truck to the police department lot. The next day, law enforcement obtained a search warrant for the truck and seized items from inside the vehicle. Defendant asserts that search and seizure were performed without a valid search warrant. At the December 18, 2024 hearing, Roswell detective Natalie Fields, shout out to Natalie, Big Nat, testified that in June 2022, Mr. Williams had multiple pending warrants for his arrest. And I've always said that. Well, I'm not the only one that always said it, but I always said that. He had pending warrants. Why did he keep insisting that they had no reason? He thought because he parked his truck in one spot and he was just sightseeing for lease signs that he was arrested and he was violated. Like they just picked him up for nothing. I don't know. Detective Fields further testified that she observed defendant driving the truck at issue, pulling into a parking lot, exit the truck because he knew he was being followed, and began taking pictures. Detective Fields then took defendant into custody based on the arrest warrants. You got that, Nesto? Did Sonya, I'm sure at some point she found out, but Sonya didn't know, or maybe she forgot that he had warrants already. Okay. The truck was impounded for investigative purposes and towed to the police lot, and a search warrant was obtained. A copy of the search warrant was introduced into evidence as State's Exhibit 1. On January 6, 2025, at the court's request, defendant filed a supplemental brief to suppress vehicle search and all derivative evidence. In the supplemental brief, defendant lists all the evidence he contends should be excluded because of the illegal search. Oh, was it listed? I don't know if I pulled that document or not, but I didn't realize that Hoover had listed all the evidence that should be excluded. All right, on January 24, 2025, the state filed a motion to dismiss defendant's motion to suppress on the basis that defendant lacked standing to challenge the search and seizure of the Ford F-350. All right, so that was put in January. I believe I read that one off, and here it is, September, and we're just getting to this motion denied. On August 11, 2025, the court held a subsequent hearing and allowed the state to present evidence on its motion to dismiss. Took 8 months for a hearing, y'all. At the hearing, the state called Shirley Strawberry, hey, Shirley, the purported registered owner of the truck in question, and district attorney investigator Billy Ansell. Okay, so was that Billy, the black guy that looked like Rollo from, not Rollo, what's his name from the show Amen? Where is my picture? There was a man at the hearing that was sitting close to Will that looked like Raleigh from Amen. Was that the investigator? Billy Ansell? Oh, okay, never mind, y'all. Now I know, because there was somebody else that went up on the stand. I don't think I heard his stuff all the way through, because y'all know who recorded it and who, messed around with the hearing recording. And so, we got bits and pieces here and there. So anyway, I still want to know who that man that looked like Riley was that was sitting by Will. But anyway, she stated that she did not complete, sign, or authorize anyone to sign State's Exhibit 1, the retail motor vehicle credit application, the retail installment contract, and security agreement. Ms. Strawberry further testified that she knew defendant had purchased the truck but did not authorize him to use or know that he used her name or signature on her behalf. Investigate, and none of us can say otherwise because we don't know what the conversation was. We don't know what Nesto told her or did not tell her. We don't know when she saw Nesto pull up in that truck. We don't know if she ever saw an insurance card. We don't know if she ever made a payment on that truck out of her own account knowingly. We don't know none of that. Okay? We can say, oh, she knew. How do you know? How do you know she knew? The only person that's rolling around here that might have more of an indication that she knew because she been snooping in the emails is Sonya, but I don't even believe them emails. And that's probably why they haven't been used yet, because they're manufactured. Don't get me going. Please. All right, we don't know what Nesto told Shirley about him getting that oil rig. We don't know. How does anybody that says Shirley knew, how do you know? I need evidence. I need proof. How do you know she knew? Moving on. Investigator Ansel identified and introduced States Exhibits 1 through 7, particularly States Exhibit 1, the Retail Motor Vehicle Credit Application, the Retail Installment Contract, and Security Agreement, based on Investigator Ansel's research. Thank you, Investigator Ansel. All of the supporting information on the Retail Motor Vehicle Credit Application, telephone numbers, email address, and reference individuals did not relate to Ms. Strawberry but was connected to defendant. Legal authority and analysis. Georgia law is clear that a defendant cannot assert a violation of his or her Fourth Amendment rights in regard to the search of the vehicle where he or she has no proprietary interest in it or legitimate expectation of privacy regarding the vehicle or its contents. See Burgesson versus State, 267, Georgia, 102, 105, 1996. United States versus Salvucci. I like that name. 448, yada, yada, yada. On the contrary, as one knowingly using a stolen vehicle on a public roadway, a defendant probably is in constant expectation of intrusion by the authorities. Burgesson versus State, 267, Georgia, and 105, 106. In a case involving the search of a fraudulently obtained hotel room, the Court of Appeals reasoned, although registered guests of a hotel room can have a reasonable expectation of privacy in their room, one who obtains a room by fraud can have no reasonable expectation of privacy in the room. So it can be private as long as you're not committing a crime. Like one in possession of a stolen car, mere unlawful possession of a room does not alone warrant a reasonable expectation of freedom from governmental intrusion. State versus Del Vecchio, 301 Georgia, App 560, 562, 2009. Citations omitted. See Thomas versus State, 274, Georgia, 156, 160, 2001. One driving a stolen vehicle has no reasonable expectation of privacy. I mean, duh. In this case, the evidence shows that the defendant obtained the Ford F-350 by fraud. Specifically, the documents regarding the truck show that it was purchased in Ms. Strawberry's name, although Ms. Strawberry testified that she did not purchase, sign for, or authorize anyone to sign anything on her behalf relating to the truck. Ms. Strawberry further testified that although her signature appears on the application, she did not authorize the defendant to use her name or sign anything on her behalf. Accordingly, the court finds that the defendant lacked any expectation of privacy in the seize and search Ford F-350. See Thomas versus State, 274, Georgia at 160. Conclusion: in light of the foregoing, defendant's motion to suppress is hereby denied. So ordered this 4th day of September 2025. Honorable. It's signed by Honorable Eric K. Dunaway, Judge, Superior Court of Fulton County, Atlanta Judicial Circuit. So that is done. That is done, y'all. It's been a long time coming. I think if Nesto would have stuck with Shirley and not been talking to Sonya in the first place, maybe possibly Shirley could have tried to avoid speaking with detectives, speaking with prosecution, getting on the stand and saying she didn't know anything, regardless if she knew anything or not about the truck. I think if Nesto wouldn't have been caught on them recorded calls, talking to Sonya, talking bad about Shirley, if a lot of other things hadn't come out, maybe Nesto would have had a fighting chance. Otherwise, or, being as though the stuff came out like it did, he's between a rock and a hard place. It has prolonged things. It has made things drag. He's going to do time anyway. So as Dion keeps saying, time served. Nesto's so scared for Dion to say anything. But Dion keeps saying, time served. Time served for what, Dion? I thought Nesto was innocent. You didn't say he was innocent of all crimes per se, but Nesto keeps saying he's innocent. So why would he be good with time served? She shouldn't have served a day if he hadn't done anything. So I don't know. Bad decisions all the way around. For committing the crimes in the first place, for not making sure your divorces were finalized in the second place, and for 3, talking to this side hoe, this weird hoe, Sonya, Jackson, Lollipop, Olive Oil, Durham, Waller, the 4th, and letting her muck everything up between your son, between your friend, between you and your wife. Yeah, right. So, Nesto's sitting. He's going to sit. Whatever happened. I'm hoping for a lengthy trial. What y'all hoping for? Drop down in the comments and let me know. I'm hoping for a lengthy trial. Me, myself. But anyway, update. Nesto's motion to suppress the evidence found in the truck, the deal doors, the tennis shoes, the credit card receipts. Let me go back to that real quick. I don't want to make this too long, but let me find it. I don't know where that document is, but I screenshot it from another video that I did. So just to have it up here, just, as Real Talk Bougie would say, bubble it up. Excuse me, y'all. Bubble it up. This is a listing of everything they found in the Ford F-350, item C's. And like I said, I've never seen any list of Nesto's attorney, Sean Hoover, with things that he wanted to be thrown out. What items he wanted thrown out. Maybe it was just too many to list. I don't know. But, you can just look at them. I'm not going to read through all of them. But he did have the check from Wade Ford that he was supposedly going to use to pay off the F-350, which was connected to Gail Bickham, an alleged victim. The details of that. Invoice from the G-Wagon sale. He had multiple hotel invoices connected to another alleged victim. Let's see what else. Black book bag with multiple documents from the Bent Creek Manor eviction. I believe Erica King represented him with that. Let's see. The garnishment from Shirley Strawberry's account due to that eviction. Trying to live somewhere and not pay for it. Let's see what else. Anything else? I think. Hold on. I don't know what page that was, but anyway, I guess I don't have keys to multiple vehicles, 2 storage unit keys. There we go. 2 black dildos. Y'all see that at the bottom? Black mask with zip ties and liquid Viagra. There we go. But anyway, y'all can pause and look at all of these if y'all would like. But I just wanted to include that in this video, the list of things that are now admissible in this case, thanks to Ernesto believing he's innocent and his rights were violated, and Sonya backing him up like a dumb scallywag. All right, well, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button so you don't miss any of my videos. What else? Okay, trial date is 11/12/2025 if nothing changes. Sonya and Sylvia are still trying to go in on Shirley, even though that will not affect Nesto's case in any way at this point. Shirley did her job, even though she might have to come back and testify if there's a trial. And Sylvia and Sonya are flapping their gums, and Sylvia is trying to put things behind her membership and charge $499.99 for someone to come and listen to them lie and scheme to free this man. Delusional. Some of the other creators have caught their lives and put them on their channel, Unfiltered Doll Reactions and Real Talk Bougie. If I stumble upon any of them, I may put them in my membership, react to their lives and lies, their live lies, and put them in my membership. So check out the link in the description box to join the membership, y'all, and I'll holler at y'all later. Bye. Do y'all think Nesto is saying this right about now?
I am tired. I'm tired. I'm tired.